Hello everybody, this is Desmond520. It has been a while since I've done an exotic review, and before I get into talking about Cold War on this channel a little bit more, because that's something I've been playing a lot of, I do want to give you guys at least one exotic review before I do some of that, and then I'll go back to this as I have time and have exotics to review. So today we're going to be talking about the very weird and wondrous weapon known as Graviton Lance. This weapon was very unique for the time because it's the most unique pulse rifle in the game by far in terms of what it does, at least its first mode. And then we have the other huge thing about it, which is how many times it's been changed. So firstly, I'll go over this, but essentially this weapon used to be a 3-round burst, just like all the other pulse rifles, but people were finding it way too inconsistent. They were having issues with it, and Bungie decided to make it a 2-round burst to make it more consistent, and I'll talk about why in a moment, because its perk is the reason why that happened. And ever since then, it's been in the meta as pulse rifles get way up in, basically as pulse rifles gets damage buff, they go up. This used to be like the best weapon in the game for a long time. Now it's okay, I guess. It's not a very good weapon anymore, but it's not bad either. But regardless of history, let's get right into the stats. So, firstly, let's talk about the perks. Black Hole is its primary intrinsic perk. So, second shot of a burst rips a hole through space-time, doing high damage or recoil with no fall-off. Basically, your first bullet does very little damage. I think it's like 10 to the body. And then you can get up to 57 damage crits with the second bullet. That seems really good, and it is in some ways, because it makes this weapon have really high damage, at least in PvP. The main issue is that the gun, well, you miss that second bullet, then you've basically just done 10 damage, which means you're doing worse than a max range sidearm. Yeah. Regardless, though, the second bullet doesn't have fall off either, which means this is a great scout rifle countering weapon. And let's go on to its biggest perk, which is the perk that a lot of people may know of. This is Cosmology. So kills with this target cause enemy targets to explode. Basically, they get launched backwards, they explode, and then little void seekers spawn out that go and hit enemies. You'll actually see me get a kill with it here, where I end up dying, but the seekers come in and they kill him. That's one of its biggest things, and as it blows up more targets, because this can chain, if more targets blow up over time, the bigger and more seekers spawn. So this weapon is great for killing ads. But let's get into the main stats. As I said earlier, 10 damage to the body with a non-crit body shot, 36 to the body with a non-crit body shot with the second round, and 57 to the head with, or 57 to 58 depending on armor, with a crit. So the main problem with this weapon is just the inconsistency of it once you, depending on what range you are. Basically, as long as you are hitting both shots to the head every time, your time to kill is actually pretty fast, even for a 3-burst kill. You will still lose to hand cannons sometimes, but it's fairly close. The biggest problem with that, though, is just the fact that A, it's not a very pulse rifle heavy meta right now, at least unless you're on PC. On PC you have better accuracy on average, so it's a bit easier to use this, but on console the main issue is just that it doesn't do enough to warrant the justification of using it, especially when Vigilance Wing is there, and Vigilance Wing is just much more forgiving. I will say this though, this weapon is not bad, you can still use it. In PvE it has a bit more of a use case, but it's not that great either. The main reason being that this weapon is awful against anything that isn't a red bar. I don't know why they did it that way, but essentially the damage bonus you get against, with the second round, does almost no damage to ads that are above red health, so the weapon essentially just becomes a paperweight. But it is a very, very, very good ad clearing weapon, so if you need something just to clear ads, or maybe, you need a pulse rifle that you want to clear ads with, but also has some some use case as like a barrier unstoppable thing, then that's fine, but overall in PvE, unless you're using this as an ad clear weapon, it's not good. So for my rating on this weapon, I'm going to be kind of harsh against this one, but it's not because the weapon's horrible, and even I can still do good work with it. It's more just the fact that the amount of time and effort it takes to make the weapon good, as well as all the issues you can come with using this gun, just because of how inconsistent it can be in some cases, influences a lot. For PvP, I'll give this weapon a 3 out of 5. Simply put, it's average to above average, depending on who's using it, and it's nothing insanely good, but it can definitely hold its own, especially against what the meta is right now. The main issue is you just have to have extremely good accuracy. In terms of PvE, I will give this weapon a 2 out of 5, because the weapon simply just, it's only good at ag clearing, and it doesn't even do as well as blue, or even green, specifically blues though for the most part. It can't even do as well as them at dealing damage to majors or anything higher than a red bar. With that being said though, onto the catalyst, which is probably the biggest thing that it gets PvP wise, and that is that it gains hidden hand, which gives you bonus aim assist, meaning that that shot is a little bit more consistent, which is always a good thing. This is just can be found in Crucible or the strikes. Yeah, just strikes. And you need to get kills with the Cosmology ability, which basically means you need to go onto the world and start farming shit tons of ads in order to get the perk unlocked. With that all being said, that's about it. In terms of the gun, not my least favorite. It used to be my favorite pulse rifle in the game before they nerfed it. Once they nerfed it again, it just kind of fell off for me. As for next up, I'm going to be going over some stuff on Cold War, so I don't know if you guys want to hear me shit on Cold War for 30 minutes, or me just talk about what guns aren't complete ass and don't lose to lag and skill-based matchmaking, then whoop-de-doo, good job for you. Who knows, might even make a class, a sort of custom class type tutorial thing in a little bit, but regardless, that's really it for now, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will be making more as well. I will be making more exotic reviews at some point, just not right now. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys all later.